Dear reader, recording number 3. My voice sounds funny. It's because I just woke up and I need to record 5 of these today. So I'm going to record the first one while still sitting in bed. Drinking a coffee, not out of a cup, but out of my thermal flask, teal colored, which I found at the park a couple of years ago. Someone left it behind. It was basically brand new. I've been using it ever since. I used to cover it with duct tape because it's a bit of a gay color, but I don't give a shit anymore. Dear reader, I fucked up. In the last episode, chapter, whatever the fuck this is, I read out part of the movie script. However, I read out the wrong part. As I explained in the episode, I record once raw and once edited. In episode 2, I was recording edited, but when I got to the movie part, I thought I was still in live recording mode. I fucked up and read the wrong part, but I'm not changing it. I will, however, now be forced in this episode to start the whole movie idea over from the beginning. Actually, no, I'm not going to do that. I figured out later that by episode 5, everything will catch up and it'll be fine. I don't want to do that. I'm sick of reading it out loud, but I have no choice. I like the format of episode 2. Read the episodes like I'm reading my own book, but add in the stand-up and movie idea readings on the fly. If you like this format, reader, keep reading. If I've lost you, hopefully you forgot that you signed up for this and you continue to pay me for years. At some point, I won't need the $5 a month. It'll all go to charity, and you'll be doing a good thing without knowing it, reader. Thanks for reading, reader, and thanks for listening, listener. Figured out chapters don't work. Chapter notes don't work. The concept of chapters don't work in my brain. I don't care about the order of the story, only the removal from my mind, so I can either move on to the next phase of my life. Either Betty is real and we'll meet again, or she's a figment of my imagination, and a series of events will change my life, probably based on Dear Grace, and now Dear Reader. By the way, listener, probably some background noise, but it should be a lot quieter than the backyard, which is I'll probably record next. Not had a coffee in my room for probably 6 months. Anyone cares? The concept of manually writing a daily journal of my life works, but I don't feel like doing a daily journal of my life most days. It's enough of a struggle. So recording it is. For a while, the Dear Grace podcast was daily because I was enjoying it. What I'm doing now feels like work. Work I don't want to do and work I will not get paid for. I do live in the perfect neighborhood, or city, I guess. It's full of weirdos. I like weirdos. The politically correct term is characters, but trust me, they're weird, as am I. Summer's gone, September's almost gone, my mind is almost gone. I'm not sure I'd buy a yoga mat from a thrift store. There's a new thrift store open on the way to the liquor store, or the government liquor store, where I'm walking to at the moment while dictating this. I'm buying booze for later. Not sure I'll drink it later or not, but I'm paying with the 20, and with the change I have enough loonies to do my laundry today, killing 2 birds with 1 stone. Yes, there are easier ways to get loonies, I understand. This just works. I really don't give a fuck anymore. Guess instead of train breaks, we'll have coffee breaks. See if it wakes me the fuck up. I took my meditation to the next level yesterday. Public library, yesterday at the public library, getting closer to the state that I call Mushroom Dave. Mushroom Dave is when I take a bunch of mushrooms and then the tinnitus in my head goes away and I feel normal for a few hours. It's a wonderful experience, but it cost me $100 worth of mushrooms to get there and almost an hour of convulsions. Pain-free convulsions, but still uncomfortable as fuck. I am that desperate for relief, but I just can't afford it. It's probably a good thing if I'm close to the same feeling as Mushroom Dave through meditation. Obviously, meditation is the way to go, and it doesn't require any convulsions whatsoever. It does require a little coughing at times, or sneezing, or laughing, or farting. I'm at a different thrift store now. I'm going to meditate outside first because it's a public courtyard. Then I'm going to go inside and see if I can find a belt for $5 or less, hopefully. The brilliance of Dear Grace is it was a repository for jokes as they popped into my head, whether they were funny or not. We'll do the same here. My old routines are gold. If I'm creating a new joke on the fly, I'll just put it in straight into the text. I just thought of a joke, and then fire trucks went by. The joke is gone. It'll come back. Luckily, I got a pause button. When I reached out to friends and families and told them the story, reader, the responses were surprisingly silent. Not even a patronizing, "That's interesting." Either silence or response that had very little to do with the original story. I find that odd, but other than having Betty in my head whenever I need her, I request her. Who am I to question their response? A day in the life of Dave. Alright, back home, reader. Back in the background, back in the backyard. I'm picking up a tomato off the ground. It was rotten, so I threw it into the tree for the raccoon. Last summer I was outside all the time at night. I saw a mother raccoon, or 2 or 3 babies, depending on the night. I can never figure out why some nights I only saw 2, and then other nights 3. It's not like there was... It's not like there was 3 all the time, and then down to 2. It was random all summer. Maybe one of the babies stayed home with Dad, or maybe it was Dad taking them for a walk and one lazy runt staying home with Mom. I don't really know. I didn't check for balls or boobs. I assumed it was Mom doing the hard work and Dad had left the entire family a long time ago. I should ask AI about raccoon families. One day. I'm doing my laundry. It's all shirts. Actually, it's all t-shirts, socks, underwear, a pair of shorts, my bath towel, pillowcases. That's it. A day in the life of Dave is so unbelievably exciting. Right here. That may be. I'll do the audio version as a sleepy time story, which I tried with my stand-up comedy. Sleepy time stand-up comedy, which I thought was funny. Of course, nobody else did, but fuck them. Anyways, back to the backyard. It's almost October. It's getting colder. I have to forego the shorts, but for some reason the gate's really blown open today and squeaking. Every time I look over, I can expect one of my roommates or housemates to be walking down the path, and then there's nobody there. It's like there's a bunch of ghosts coming to visit me today. I don't believe in ghosts, of course, even though I do believe in telepathy, which seems a bit hypocritical. However, if ghosts are real and they're coming to visit me, I don't see them and I don't feel them, so I don't give a fuck. Drop on by. I could use the company. If someone mourns death more than a year, society has done a shitty job of educating humans. I'm not saying everyone has to be as logical as a computer, or I guess now I should say AI, but at times I think it becomes an excuse. And if you use that excuse, then you're giving your children permission to use that same excuse. I'm going to come up with a few ways on how to deal with grief before asking Grok, and see how many more ways AI has, and whether it's a good idea just to stick with one single concept like take as long as you like. Or maybe consider whatever number of ways dealing with grief I and AI come up with as a longer term solution. only problem with the coffee is it's giving me a bit of coffee throat, coffee mouth. I'm recording this in my underwear. If you care, reader, listener. Guess it's listener. First off, if you understand death as being part of life, there may be no grieving process at all. If you believe in life after death, there may be no grieving process at all. If we're in a simulation and the person just simply moves on to another simulation, then there's no reason to grieve. If dead, how do we know grieving would help a person on the other side? We don't, so why do we do it? There's no reason unless you know. Then how would you know? And if you know, why doesn't the whole world know? Really, if grieving was helping, then it wouldn't be open-ended. Then you could feel how long it would take. Because if all your grieving is making a difference, then you should be feeling a little bit better, a little bit better, a little bit better. You should be able to feel a difference from the death, difference from when the death occurred until now, and estimate how long it should take. If you can't do that, then you're not in touch with your feelings at all. And all you're doing is using grief as an excuse. If you want to feel depressed or anxious, then you have an excuse. As long as you do that for yourself, you might as well do that for others. And then you have to accept that in others, which means everyone's just going to be depressed and anxious their entire life and not do a single fucking thing. So what the fuck is the point of being on the planet if that's what you're going to live like? Go down to fucking Peru and take some ayahuasca, take ibogaine, take mushrooms, take LSD, take weed, take all that shit, supervised and with intent. Try it, one at a time, obviously, and not night after night. I should say obviously, but do whatever it takes. If you haven't cured your grief in a year, then you're not doing it right. You have to try something different, or more, or less. Why can adults be so focused on a single solution or a single concept? Why are adults so focused on a single solution or a single concept? To the reader, I have a movie idea called The School of Comedy. It's all about comedians, a school of mostly non-academic comedians, mostly the loser comedians of the world, solving problems no government before them has ever solved. No university, no professor, no genius before, no billionaire, no millionaire, no king, no queen, nobody has ever solved. That basic premise goes for everything, not just the problem that's solved in the movie, which is homelessness and poverty. The 52 comedians are basically out of a pool of 5,200 comedians, 5,200 plus comedians. There would always be 52 that could come up with a solution to problems that governments and scientists and professors and engineers and everyone with the letters behind their names couldn't solve. And they do it with kindness and compassion and by setting an example, and with comedy, with laughter, with joy. Instead of feeling the pain of the grief, although it's cliche, just remembering the good, celebrating it. After a year, grief can't be used as an excuse for anything. If it is, it's an excuse, absolute excuse. Yoga for grief, walking for grief, talking to friends, talk to a therapist, talk to a psychiatrist, talk to whoever. Talk to the voice in your head named Betty. Record your voice into a phone. Don't share with anyone. Record your voice into a phone. Share with everyone. There are so many ways you can deal with grief. There are about 1 million books dealing with grief, thousands of podcasts, millions of videos on YouTube, documentaries, movies, etc., etc. Get out a Ouija board. Go to a seance. Set up a seance. Research the occult. Research religion. Research whatever. What difference does it make? Nothing's provable. Until Jesus rises from the dead himself, not a single thing is provable. So do whatever research you want to get over your quote-unquote grief. Go on a trip and spread their ashes throughout the trip, or at their favorite place, or where they were born, or whatever would be significant. Get over your grief. Good grief. Jesus. It was not meant for this world. Definitely a lot more emotion in the original recording. I strongly suggest you sign up for Founder membership so you can listen to that, listener. I think it would be better if we actually had a contract tattooed on our back that said we agreed to come here and we agreed to die here. Then everyone could get over this whole fucking death thing. Why do people that believe in God and Jesus and heaven grieve at all? Isn't their loved one in a better place? Isn't heaven the best place? Isn't God and Jesus doing their job? Aren't God and Jesus doing their job? So you should be happy. Why are you grieving? Ultimately, it's an individual's choice. I'm pretty sure Grok will list at least 50 other ways that I haven't mentioned up to this point. Day in the life of Dave. I live like a homeless person, but I don't steal like a homeless person, except movies online when I'm feeling extraordinarily low on funds, for whatever reason. I switched to downloading movies illegally instead of paying $7 a month for Netflix, or $9 a month for Amazon. Not necessarily the crime of the century, but this is a day in the life of Dave. These are the decisions that everyone makes when the funds start to become low. For me, it's movies. For you, it might be buying cheap vodka instead of top shelf and then pouring it into your old top shelf bottle because nobody can fucking tell the difference because it's fucking vodka. It's basically the same molecule in every single bottle. Sorry to bust your bubble, vodka fans. All of my clothes are now washed and dried. It takes 1 hour, 30 minutes to wash, 30 to dry. I sit outside and get stoned while it happens because I'm done for the day, except for maybe a little more narrating. We'll see. Tonight's supper, wieners and fat Japanese noodles. I'm not necessarily sure they're Japanese. I think they are. Yeah, Japanese style noodles. Japanese style. Fine, I never said or thought they came straight from Japan, although why do they say style? Does that mean it's a type, or a copy, or what? Please change or explain, noodle maker. They are frozen, $5 for a pack of 5. They're what I call Shanghai noodles. If you're ever in a Chinese restaurant in Canada, Shanghai noodles are the kind of fat, chewy ones. A little fat, chewy noodle in your mouth. That's what you should want. I'm just saying. Reader, I'm tempted to go back to Reader, I'm tempted to go back to just doing Dear Grace and say fuck you. The reader, go back to making up lies, saying anything I want to make it funny, joking about stupid news items and all the above. Worry about the future, not the fucking past. You can change the future, but you can't change the past. Another cliche, but apparently that's... When my dad died, what did I do? I spent the next 4.5 years writing my ass off, trying to sell something, make something of myself, get some money, go and visit my daughter, provide her with extra fun things to do. Have I succeeded? No. Have I given up? No. Grief doesn't mean depression or anxiety. Grief can be handled in multiple ways. I'm not saying I did this because of grief. I did it for myself, so I could have a life that I wanted to live, so I could show Iris, my daughter, you can live your dreams. You can find your dreams. You can build your dreams. And by the way, the last words my dad said to me was calling me an asshole. And I don't care. I didn't care, because I understood why he said it and what he was thinking at the time. So I don't hold it against him. It's not a big fucking deal. It's a funny story. It's a long story, but it's a funny story. And it's what death is, a funny story. Maybe I'll talk about it more in the podcast, or maybe I'm done. Insert movie idea. Double check where you left off. Insert stand-up. So at this point, listener, if you want to listen to the movie idea in order, actually I'll do the stand-up first, and then the movie idea. Because the stand-up, the order doesn't matter. I fucked that up too, but it's not as bad. All right. This is from the comedy special Back Taxes. Also meant to attract the North Face as a sponsor. North Face, if you're listening, just sign up for 10 founder accounts. And I'll mention you all the time. I'm not good at math, but I did the math on my back taxes. Even if AI doesn't ruin the field of computer programming, it would take 10 years or more to pay back what I owe. That seems like a lot of work when I can just write the world's funniest stand-up routine and earn the full amount in one night, if you laugh. If you're not laughing, I'm fucked. Or maybe the North Face will sponsor me. Let me explain my situation. Each month I receive a medical disability check from the Canadian government, $1,500. Thanks, Trudeau. I guess now Carney or whatever the fuck his name is. This is funnier when it's Trudeau, so I'm just going to stick with Trudeau. Which the government then threatens to, and it was Trudeau when I wrote it, so that's fair enough. Which the government then threatens to garnish for something called back taxes, whatever those are. Remember, it's the government who said and agreed I was unfit to work and granted me the medical disability. So which is it, Trudeau? Am I disabled or a criminal? Or do you just hate the North Face hoodie? There's a lot of out-of-place North Face hoodies in this, since I would never actually do this on stage. Finally, my living situation. $1,500 isn't enough to live on in Vancouver, but I found a room to rent in a house full of international students. I lied and said I was a student, but to be fair, I was planning on returning to school if I could, and I would have if it wasn't for the government. Fuck Trudeau. It's probably not him directly, but it's easier to use him as a pawn in my case. They, the government, wouldn't pay for re-educating me, the citizen, after they, the government, declared me mentally disabled. But they still want their back taxes. Cunts. Fuck the Canada Revenue Agency. Fuck the CRA. Justin is gone, but the North Face is still around. Help me get a sponsorship. I state that I'm a senior in my opening, because not all seniors are retired, and not all retired people are seniors. I'm 60, technically 59. I don't think I look that old. However, I'm a late bloomer. I couldn't grow a full beard until I was 40. I didn't try weed until 45. I didn't smoke cigarettes until I was 55. And now I'm 60, addicted to both. And restarting from scratch. A new me. Because I'm not a late bloomer, I never bloomed. The North Face must have lots of customers who smoke weed, especially in Canada. And who is better but an autistic senior as a spokesperson? They, doctors, say I'm autistic. I'm not sure I believe autism is a medical condition. When I was diagnosed, I wrote the doctor a 200-page summary as to why he is wrong. To be fair, when I hear coffee break. And no, I'm not pausing the recording. Never. It's all about the anticipation. To be fair, when I wear my hair like this, comb hair down so it looks like Dumb and Dumber, I look a little slow. The only other so-called autistic thing about me is I can't lie. I can exaggerate for comedy purposes, but never outright lie. Technically I could, I simply don't see the point. If that is autistic, fine. The North Face, do you care about diversity and neurodivergence? If yes, I'm your guy. Other quick notes about me. I've been married a couple of times. I have one grown adult daughter, Iris. I have memory issues. Did I mention that? Some people think I look gay, but I disagree. I just look good in the North Face outfits. Trying to become a writer or comedian or both. I look like a Ricky Gervais clone. I'm incredibly lucky, and as I said in my opening line, I'm in love with a woman half my age. Yes, I'm the stereotype, a good-looking old man wearing the North Face hoodie, chasing a younger woman. I think she's half my age, approximately. At least over 25, probably. I'm rounding up to 30, just in case. Let me try and explain. I love irony. Now that I'm 60 and don't have a chance with any of them, I'm surrounded by significantly more 20-something girls than I ever was in my 20s. Back in the 80s, before the North Face hoodie even existed, if you didn't work with them or didn't go to secondary school, they didn't seem to exist. Bars were the only place to meet a potential partner, and although I'm a funny drunk, eventually I'd have to sober up and be myself. Now I live with 3 20-something girls. In addition, I can go to any coffee shop during the day, and every barista is 20-something, hot and exotic looking. So where were all the fucking Starbucks in the 80s? I would have either gotten a job there or hit on all of them, or spent my paychecks there, watching them work, and trying to worm my way into their existence by sitting there daily, pretending to be important and looking cute, or like a pathetic puppy. Whichever would cause me to take me home or scratch my belly. I'm easy. Instead, now I just look like some perverted old man wearing the North Face hoodie daily, living with students and drooling over any barista that is nice to me. I've done a shitty job in this story of explaining the barista. I'm not actually in love with the barista half my age. A crush, sure, I'll explain. I guess I have 5 20-something girls in my life. My daughter, my 3 housemates, and a barista I have a crush on. I call her the barista because I don't know her name, well, her last name. I know her first name, but I'm too shy to say it on stage. Like it's bad luck, and she'll never appear again if I do, like she's Voldemort. She might be. I know nothing about her other than her looks and watching her interactions with customers and co-workers. Before I developed an undeniable and never-ending crush on the barista, I used her. I used her as a character in the script, a smart woman, pretty but out of place. Not the North Face hoodie out of place, but out of place. I noticed one day that she remembered my coffee selection. It wasn't that difficult, but she basically read it out to me before I tried to. One day, it wasn't difficult, but one day, she basically read it out to me before I tried to order. From that moment forward, she often, not always, but a noticeable number of times, she started my coffee order as I walked into Starbucks. If I was in line, by the time I made it to the cashier, it would be ready and waiting for me. The coffee, not the barista. And although she was acting like the app, as if I had ordered online before arriving, I didn't mistake her kindness as her having an interest in me. If anything, it's probably easier for her, as I tend to mumble in the first place, and she's probably tired of asking me to repeat my order. Or thought I was an idiot for wearing the North Face hoodie every day. To be fair, she was often the first and or only person I would speak to some days. Anyway, with the barista, I simply saw her as a potential character for one of my scripts, not a possible love interest. She is, after all, too young for me, according to society. But I kept track. I sat close to the till, and anytime she remembered someone's order, I made a note with the order and a description of the person. I was nearing 100 orders that she had memorized To the listener, I didn't actually make a list. That part's not true. But this is stand-up, so pretty heavily exaggerated. I was nearing 100 orders that she had memorized when the one that broke the camel's back, so to speak, came through the door. Actually, before that, and before I would call her my crush. On the days I sat there in the North Face hoodie, I did think to myself, somebody that can remember that many fucked up coffee orders, surely could remind me to submit my taxes every year. Wouldn't that be a perfect wife? Anyway, the character in my notebook and the real barista were nearing 100 memorized orders, and a gaggle of women came in one day. It wasn't busy. The cashier was in the bathroom while the barista was preparing a drive-thru order. Then the barista noticed the cashier was taking some time to return and asked one of the ladies, "Should I start your usual order?" And then the barista repeated a long, convoluted coffee order back to the lady. Shocked, the lady said yes, and then turned to her friends and exclaimed, "I guess I have a usual." Overhearing the lady, the barista added, "I remember, normally you come in with your students. They all talk about you being a great teacher." Doubting, the teacher replied, "My students?" To which the barista replied, "Yes, your students." And then something snapped in my head, or maybe I zipped up the North Face hoodie too far and cut off the circulation from my head. I wondered if she just lied to the lady, just to make her day. If yes, why? Why would the barista, both the character and the person, lie? Maybe I am autistic. After that event, I was unsure what I should do, so I sent her manager a complimentary email about her excellent customer service and kindness. And then I ghosted her and never went back to that Starbucks, even though it was the perfect distance from my house and had the most comfortable seats, and I haven't seen her for a year, almost 2 now. And I haven't seen her for a year, but I spent the entire time expanding the character into the perfect theoretical wife for both the script and real life, while continuing my dream of becoming the world's greatest comedian in the North Face hoodie. So one day I can walk back into that Starbucks in my hoodie and not feel like a complete loser and ask the barista out. I guess I really didn't ghost her since we never talked past a coffee order, but the term seems fitting. And no, I didn't stalk her this past year, if you're wondering. Sorry, correction, I've never stalked her. Not in person, not online, not with the drone, not with AI voice recognition, not by hiring an artist to draw a sketch of her, not by hiring an artist to draw a police sketch of her, nothing. I'll have a memory too, but memories are not stalking. The North Face, I forgot to mention I'm a bit of a storyteller, not in the traditional Hansel and Gretel style, more of the Grinch meets Sleeping Beauty. Also the world's laziest man, which is why I've worn out the North Face hoodie. Alright. So that's it for the stand-up listener. If you want this in order, again, you have to start at a later episode, but it doesn't really matter. Let's go back to the movie idea, School of Comedy. This one's definitely out of order. But by the time we get to episode 5, everything will be fine. I think. I guess it doesn't really matter if you listen to the movie idea out of order. It'll make sense by the time we get to episode 7. Or, if you really don't like it, sign up for founding member, and I'll send you a copy of the script. Hell, I'll read the whole fucking thing for you personally if you sign up. Scene, opening credits. The screen is black. Text fades in. I guess I should start with the School of Comedy. Scene, opening credits. I guess technically this should be the first scene anyways. Scene, opening credits. The screen is black. Text fades in. On screen, the following is a 100% true story. The text holds for a moment, then fades to new text. On screen, no names, places, or events have been changed to protect the individuals. On screen, no names, places, or events have been changed to protect the individuals. Text fades out, leaving the screen black. David, voiceover. The following is my story. If you find the first 2 scenes unbelievable, get up now and leave. I've instructed the theater staff to refund your money at my expense. So the idea, listener, was you have 2 scenes and then have the opening credits. These opening credits. I'll just explain to the listener. The screen lights up with a countdown timer. On screen, the countdown timer shows 30 seconds in a message. Please leave now. The timer ticks down from 30 seconds as David's voice continues. David, voiceover. For the rest of the viewers, welcome to my world. The timer reaches 0 and the screen fades to black. Fade out. End scene. Scene, the house. Interior, David's bedroom, day, December 2020. The screen fades in with text. On screen, present day, December 2020. David, an incredibly handsome middle-aged man, 55, stands in a modest bedroom with John, his new landlord. John hands David the keys, explaining something about the house. David stands silently, uninterested, waiting for John to leave. David, voiceover. I'm not listening, I don't care, I just want him to leave me alone. John exits. David immediately opens the window. The room is hot, unbearably hot. He closes the vents on the baseboard. Heaters to slow the greenhouse effect. David throws his knapsack onto a chair and lies on the bed, staring at the ceiling. David, voiceover. It's not great, but it'll have to do. I have no choice. David begins to cry gently, the pressure easing. He wipes his eyes, sitting up. David, thinking, muttering. One shot, one last shot, then fuck it, give up. David pours the contents of his knapsack onto the bed. 5 black t-shirts, 2 pairs of pants, 5 pairs of underwear, 7 pairs of socks, a laptop, 2 mobile phones, a hoodie, a rain jacket, 1 pair of shoes, an electric razor. David, thinking, muttering. I'm a grown man, 55 years old, and this is all I have to show for it? Who knows, maybe we'll just stay in bed and record all of these like this. At least I don't have to stop for the fucking trains. David leaves the items on the bed and walks to the mirror. The camera pans around the room. Simple contents. A double bed, a nightstand, a sitting chair, a footstool, a student-type desk with a lamp, an office chair, a fridge, a wardrobe, and a small dresser. The walls are white. The floor is fake hardwood. A 3-foot by 4-foot window provides light and fresh air with a stained glass window above it, casting colored light patterns on the wall, shifting as the sun filters through the trees. David stares into the mirror, muttering to himself. David, muttering, I'm fat again. I'm ugly again. My hair looks like shit. I'm getting tits. What the fuck am I doing? David grabs the electric razor / beard trimmer and heads to the bathroom, pausing to note the lack of a towel. David, thinking, muttering, I need to hit the dollar shop for supplies. Interior, bathroom, day. A very old house. The bathroom is renovated, run down, not dirty, but in need of care. David begins giving himself a buzz cut with the electric razor. David, thinking, muttering, hair takes too much time. I'm fat and ugly anyways. Might as well give up on it too. David scoops the hair from the sink and flushes it down the toilet and rinses the sink. He opens the bathroom door and steps into the hallway. Interior, hallway, day. Standing in the hallway is a attractive 20-something Asian female roommate. Room number 3. David does a double take and steps back, startled before introducing himself. David. Hi, I'm David. Room number 3 speaks quickly, giving her name, but David misses it. David, leaning in, turning his ear towards her. Sorry, I missed that. She repeats her name, but David still doesn't catch it. Pretending to understand, he notices the door open, room number 3, and assumes it's hers. David, how long have you lived here? Room number 3, about a year. David, do you like it? Room number 3, it's good. A bit noisy with the transit trains and traffic, but overall good. David, and the landlord, is he okay? Room number 3, a bit gruff at times. If you complain, he'll probably say, it's not a 5-star hotel, instead of actually fixing the problem. David, and do you work? Room number 3, no, I'm in university. David, what are you taking? Room number 3, engineering, do you work? David, no, technically I'm retired, I guess. Room number 3, what kind of work did you do? David, software engineer. Room number 3, my brother in Taiwan is a software engineer. David, running out of questions, cuts it short. David, interesting. Sorry, I just realized I was supposed to call my daughter earlier, and I forgot. You reminded me of her a bit. Room number 3, no problem. Nice to meet you. Let me know if you need anything. David walks back to his room. He doesn't call his daughter. It was a lie. David, thank you. Interior, David's bedroom, day. David closes the door behind him. David, voiceover. Holy shit, she's cute. Maybe I shouldn't have just shaved my head. Never mind, what the fuck am I thinking? I'm not retired. I'm a loser living on welfare. She won't be interested. No one will. Montage, various locations, day. With an empty backpack, David leaves the house and walks to the transit station, less than 50 meters away. He takes the train one stop and exits. That is all day, baby. At the dollar shop, he buys a towel, body wash, and conditioner. At Walmart, he purchases 7 frozen pizzas, a pack of 24 hot dogs, and 1.5 kilograms of shredded cheese. At the liquor store, he buys the largest bottle of Russian vodka he can afford, 1.4 liters. Interior, David's bedroom, day, night, over 1 week. A montage of David's week unfolds. David eats frozen pizzas and hot dogs, drinks vodka, and watches Netflix on his laptop. He passes out on the bed, surrounded by empty food wrappers and the vodka bottle. The cycle repeats, eating, drinking, watching, sleeping. On screen, 1 week later. Interior, David's bedroom, day. David wakes up, reaches for the vodka bottle on his nightstand, and takes a swig. He retches, but doesn't vomit. His stomach is empty. David out loud, I guess I'm done. David tries to drink again, can't keep it down, and lies back, returning to sleep. He reawakens, grabs a bottle, and pours the remaining vodka back into it. David, thinking, muttering, it can wait. David packs his laptop into his backpack, searches for Google for Starbucks on his mobile, and finds one a short distance away, about a kilometer, with a route over a nearby bridge. Exterior street, bridge, day. David walks over the bridge, noticing footsteps embedded in the concrete. David, thinking, muttering, what kind of idiot would walk in fresh concrete on a bridge? Surely it was closed off to the public, so who's the idiot? Alright, I'll leave it there. I was going to go for an hour a day, but I think 45 minutes a day is better. Or there might be some short ones, some 30 minutes. It doesn't really matter. Mostly just want people to give me $5 a month out of the goodness of their heart. Or that they listen or read or whatever. Not sure I care. End recording. David J.